Another Makeover Monday Watch Me Viz for 2024 week 20. I know I've been gone for a while. Life has been busy. My daughter graduated from university a couple weeks ago, so lots of traveling, setting up a new business. All these sorts of things add lots and lots of complications to life, so hopefully you understand. My name is Andy Kriebel. I am your host. I am the creator of Next Level Tableau, which is the only Tableau training program in the world that offers over 170 hours of live training with me, along with over 140 online tutorials. Also includes your own, also includes our own, or it also includes the Next Level Tableau certification and much, much more. If you want any more information about that or to sign up, go to nextleveltableau.com. The other thing that I want to talk about real quick is, well, first off, I want to make sure that anybody that is on YouTube or LinkedIn can hear me. So if somebody could please give me a shout when you can hear me, that would be wonderful. So let me bring up the chat here so I can see that. So yeah, if you're on either YouTube or LinkedIn, if you could just leave a quick message to let me know you can hear me, that would be very much appreciated. I think everything's fine, but you never know. Okay, and if you have any comments along the way, feel free to leave them in the chat. I'm going to be looking kind of side by side. My computer's now on my right, so you might see the right side of my face, which you haven't seen in a while. We moved into a new office, and we built a new office at our house. So this is my first live stream in the new office. So yes, thanks for joining me. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And this is the visualization that we are going to make over this week. So it's a pretty horrible topic. If you followed me at all, I'm not really a very big fan of guns. And I just thought this was an incredibly interesting data set. Just the volume of exports, and this is just semi-automatic firearm exports that the U.S. That the U.S. exports to countries around the world is just absolutely astounding. I'm going to go to the original visualization, which is on, not that website, here we go, which is on Bloomberg. And so this is the original visualization, so it's a bit clearer to see in this view. So there have been 3.7 million semi-automatic firearms exported over 18 years. So quite crazy. And it looks like, from what I can understand from this visualization, it looks like the US is kind of at the center of the map. And then all of these lines go out to wherever that country is. Now, I've never built anything like this, so we might give it a try and kind of see what happens. I'm not sure if we can or not, but might not hurt. So you can picture these kind of being around the world. So over here on the left, we can see we've kind of got Europe, and then we've got the Eastern Europe, and then we have Asia over here, and South America and Africa down here. So it's kind of neatly organized. I like that. But there also are some other visualizations just for some context. So there's this one here that kind of grows. Now this one is year by year, but I couldn't find any of the data that was year by year, because ideally I think it would have been great to have. So these are the exporters, the manufacturers. Ideally, it would have been great to have the data by year, but I couldn't find it. So if anybody was able to find that, if you've worked on this and you're able to find it, it would be just fantastic if you could just maybe put a message in the chat, because that's what I would prefer to use. And as you go down, like I didn't see anything in here. So here, yes, here we go. So this is sort of what I was hoping for. I wouldn't be able to see this time series, but all it says is U.S. Census Bureau, which I can't find the year by year data for. So if anybody knows where I can find that, it would be great. So let me just go all the way to the bottom. Yeah, I don't see any. Oh, here we go. Okay. So Bloomberg used international trade data to track gun exports from each state from each U.S. state to their foreign destinations. Okay. So there might be some information here. Okay, let's look at. Let me just open up two of these links. So again, this is how I would approach a new data set anyway. I want to understand kind of where the data came from. Now this is explosives and bombs, which doesn't, this is firearm licensees. So trace data by state, international. Okay, so this could be useful. Let me just look at Canada, for example. And yes, this is going to be too much work. It's going to be too much work to try to clean it up within this particular Watch Me Viz. So we could look at maybe, let's see what US Trade Online looks like. Okay, it looks like I need to set up an account. Let's see, do I have an account? Probably not. Let's see, let me just pause sharing for a second. And let me just create a user ID. And I'll just generate a password. Let's see, enter user ID. Okay. Account maintenance, okay. So, oh, I need to sign up. Okay, so let me try that first. Let me just try this address. Organization type, private individual. Okay, England, question. Sorry, I have to fill out some information here. And then okay, so let me see if this works. Okay, so it looks like receipt. Okay, and let's see if this lets me go in. Sorry, I'm just trying to do all this at the same time, but this is probably a bad idea. More. Let me go into my spam. Okay. All right. Well, that didn't work. I was trying to create an account, but it doesn't look like. Oh wait, here we go. All right. Do I have to just click this link? Okay, let's try that. All right. Use password. Submit. Okay. Oh boy, no, I don't know if it saved the password. Log in. Oh shoot, didn't save the password. Okay, well, anyway, I was going to try to figure that out, but I'm not going to worry about it. So let me share my screen again. Sorry, a bit of a distraction there. Hello, Enrique. All right, only 4 of you today. I guess it's because the routine is not really on much of a routine at the moment with these. And it's Tuesday, so who would expect a Makeover Monday on a Tuesday? Where is the article here? Here we go. Oh, that's not it. Bloomberg. All right, so I think maybe let's see if we can reproduce this visualization. Would that be of any interest to any of you? Hopefully it would be. Now in Tableau we can draw lines, right? We can. There's a spatial way to do that. But if we do a map in Tableau and we try to connect the US to Thailand, it's going to give us like giant arcs, right? And it does that because, so giant arcs, I don't know if you can see my hand there, because it tries to use the curvature of the earth. But this looks like, if you picture this as flat, almost like a scatter plot with the US at the middle. So let's see if we can somehow make that work. So let me go to the data set itself. So let's go to Makeover Monday data 2024 and here. Okay, so what do we have here? So we have, okay, so I must have done this already. We have data here for the United States, right? And what I want to do is, let's see, how can I do this? I think I should be able to, okay, so I when I was practicing this yesterday, I put the US in here. So let's delete that and save. Okay, let's just think through this process. And then I have another file that we're going to use called, I think it's in my data sources here. It's called country codes, I believe. And this file has every country with its latitude and longitude and some other information about it as well. So let's see if we can kind of combine these things to come up with something useful as far as a join in Tableau. So let's switch over to Tableau. Okay, and I'm going to, for now, I'm just going to drop the this data set. Where'd it go? I'm just going to drag this in here, and that will connect to that data source. And hopefully, there we go. And we can see here that we've got the country, the volume. Okay, we don't need this, so I'm going to hide that because that's just going to confuse me. Now I want to get I need the latitude and longitude for each country. So to get that, I'm going to add in a second data source. I don't know what file type it is, so I'll choose more. And let's see, I want to go to data sources, country codes. And if I look here, so it's called country in this data source. I'm going to actually join these together. So it's called, we want to get the, okay, so we have, so it's called name in this file. Okay, so info is going to be country here and name here. And I'll do this as a left join. That way, if there's any countries that don't match, they'll drop out. Okay, so this gives us, we don't need some of these columns. Oh, I'm curious to keep the region and the subregion. Maybe we can use that for filtering later on. We don't need any of those. Okay, so let's hide those. And then we have the alpha 2 and the alpha 3. We also don't need, well, we'll leave that one in there for now. And then in the geo sheet, we have the country code. So that's the 2-character code. I usually try to join in the 2-character code instead of the name. So somebody said, strange the Soviet Union has an entry on data that indicates this post. Yeah, that is strange. I think it's, yeah, I think it should be named Russia or something like that. And did a bit of cleanup on this data last night. So I'm going to bring this in now. And I want to connect, I don't want to do name, I want to do alpha 2, and that's going to connect to country 1, I believe. Okay, so alpha 2, so that gives us the name, so we can hide that. Okay, and then we've got that. Okay, so this all looks good. So what I've done now is I have the latitude and longitude for each country. Okay, and then so that will then give me kind of a map, right, more or less. So let's actually just start there, and I will, let's see. I think I'll just do latitude and longitude. Actually, let me go back. I'm going to make these dimensions instead, so I don't have to put the countries in the view. So we get something like that. And ideally, what we'll do is we'll have the U.S. at kind of the 0 location. So if you picture the U.S. kind of in the middle here, and then we're just going to draw lines out to each of these other countries. So what we need to do is we need to set the U.S. to be kind of 0, 0. But I also need the U.S. as a separate. I need the U.S. data. Okay, so let me go back here. I just learned you can double click on the data source and it brings up the window. What I need here is I need another 2 columns on the end. One is for the U.S. latitude and the U.S. longitude. So I think, let's see if we can somehow figure that out. Okay, let me see if I can bring the geo in again. And if I do, so let's go on this one, and I want to use calculated join. So let's see, we're going to go country. We'll go to name. Okay, so I'm going to do a calculated join, and I'm going to say if name equals United States of America. No, wait, that's not right. I want to say, so let's cancel that. I want this to be name, and this should be a join. Okay. So what I'm trying to hope happens here is that I'll get 2 extra columns. So, and then name. Okay, so that didn't work. Yeah. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is, okay, I need to get 2 extra columns on here. So maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to hard code this for now. I'm going to go into this file. No, let's see, let's do it. Okay. So I need to have 2 more columns, one for the US latitude and one for the US longitude. So how can I do that? Let's see. Maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to cheat and add another column in here. So let's duplicate, make a copy. And I'll just call this US. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just get rid of everything except for the US. Hopefully this works. Okay. Oh, it's because it says United States, not United States of America. Okay, so let me actually try that again then. So let me bring this in again. I'm going to try my little trick here. So we want to go, I'm just going to set it up this way for now. Come on. So I'm just going to call this United States. Okay, there we go. So is that the right numbers? If I go back over here, so 3709. Okay, great. So that worked. Okay, so I don't need to save that. And then I'll close this one as well. I don't need that. Okay, so now we've got 2 additional columns here. The country is the US. That's fine. So I'm just going to rename this as USA. And then I'll call this one USA Lat. And USA Lon. And then we don't really need this anyway, so let's hide that one. Okay, so we now have the US, and what I want to do now is I want to convert the US to 0 and 0, and then I want to compare the difference between these. So, for example, okay, so let me try to do this then. So. Okay, so let me create a new sheet. And if I do, let me do this as a discrete and discrete. I'm just going to build it as a table because it'll probably be a bit easier to look at. Okay, I'll just put this here for now. So we've got our countries, and then we have the US is fine. And then we'll have the US latitude and longitude. Let's just make those discrete. And let's make those dimensions. Oh. Okay, so that and that. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to calculate the difference between the US and that latitude. So AD means so this is farther north. Okay, so I want to do, so that'll be a positive number. Okay, so let's say lat change. And it's going to be my latitude minus my USA latitude. And then let's duplicate that. And edit. I don't know if this is going to work at all. Long change. And this would be longitude minus USA longitude. Okay, so let's bring both of these up here. All right, so that's there. That's there. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's see what happens now. But I still need one more record for the US, which I don't have, I don't think. Okay, so that's why I think that's why I went in here. So let me open. I'm going to cheat a bit here. Delimiter, comma, finish. Okay, so what I'm going to do in the original data set is I'll just do 160. I'll just call 165 United States, and then 0 because obviously it can't export anything to itself. Okay, so now if I refresh this, hopefully the US pops up in here somewhere. It did not. Okay, great. Maybe I updated the wrong data set. Let's see. Today at 4:23. That's the one I'm connected to, right? Okay, so that's there, United States. All right. Okay, I've renamed it United States of America just to see what it does. I don't remember what the name is. There we go. Okay, so now we should get the US and we get 00. Okay, great. Excellent. So what I want to do now is okay, so let me just go here. I need to think through what I'm trying to do here. So I want to do, we don't need that. Geographic role, none. And let's make this continuous. Okay, so latitude goes on the rows, longitude goes on the columns. Okay, so now we should see, yeah, so here, US is right at the middle. You can kind of see this section here looks like the shape of Africa, something like that. So what I want to do now is I want to draw a line between the US and every other country. Okay, so how am I going to do that? So that means I need to, okay, so let's go back and look at the data again. No, I don't want to do it. I could do it this way. Okay, so I want to basically draw a path between the US mark and the other one. So if I do I've done this before with airlines, so I'm going to go that, and then okay. All right, so I'm going to create 2 more calculated fields. US lat 0. I'm just going to call this 0. And you'll see why in a minute. Let's just try that. Let's duplicate, rename. Okay, so if I put both of these here, we now get 0, 0, and I can now create a path between that and that. Okay, so let's create a line, and I'll use the make line function. And we need, so our starting point is going to be make point 0, 0. So that's the start, and then the end is make point lat change, comma long change. I have no idea if this is going to work. Okay, so let me now go here. So you see it's still curving everything, which I don't want. Okay, so what I could do now, so you see everything's starting at 0 here. But I don't want this to be a map. So if I set the background to none, does that give me a scatter plot? I think it does. Okay, so let's view. Come on. What's it not letting me zoom in? Oh, I think I need to put, let's put, I'll just put alpha 2 on detail. Okay, let's make these all, and now can I put, so let's see, how do I want to do this? I don't want to do, so my starting point is 0, 0. My ending point is the change. So I need to create a path, I think. So let me go look at the data again. Okay, so let's create a path. And this is going to be, it's going to be my USA plus hyphen plus, let's just put alpha 2, doesn't matter. And let's change this to a, oh, let's go here. So that's already a line. And let's put this on path. And then take this off of path. Okay. Well, that doesn't look very good. Okay, so this line here. Right. Okay, so let's try again. Let's do, if I do the path, let's see, where is it here? If I do line, let's put path on detail. Okay. So you can see all these curves, right? So they all go to different places. So if I get rid of my, if I wash out my map, let's see what happens there. Mount, not map options. Go away. Okay, let's put the, let's get rid of the rank. Let's put this on size. And then if I format, or say background layers, drag that to none, then we get something like that. And I'm going to filter out, I'm going to filter out, just say that. And then let's change this to discrete. And I just want to filter out, oh gosh, I'm going to filter out anything that's under like 100 weapons, right? Oh, I could do that the other way though. Like, do we need to know anybody that's less than, I don't know, let's say less than 1,000 weapons? No, at least 1,000. Okay, so that simplifies the data set a lot. Okay, and then let's change, let's put the country onto the tooltip. Okay, so we see that the path can go, we don't need that. Okay, so now we see that. So the US actually sent weapons to Russia. Isn't that ironic? But ideally, I want to make these straight lines. That's kind of what I was hoping to do. So this must be Thailand. Because I want this, how do I get it to not use the curve? Because Tableau will automatically do a curve. So is there a different way I can do this? Okay, so I'm getting close. Do you all have any questions so far? Hopefully you can kind of understand what I'm doing here. I could be confusing a lot of people too, but again, I'm trying to build this. And I'm relatively close actually, except I don't want curved lines. I want to have straight lines, like, you know, Canada straight just because it's close by. And then, you know, I could do something like, you know, let's let's call this our top 10. So let's just say rank is less than or equal to 10. And if I put that on color, then I can see two colors, right? So I can maybe highlight those like the original. So I'll maybe make those red. Let me see. Let me make these gray and these red. Right. And now we have something like that. Those are our top 10. But I don't want these. Is it because the map type, is it because the automatic map type shows map? Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I don't know who that is. It just shows up as LinkedIn private chat. So I don't know what your name is. But if I go up to map and at background maps and I set it to none, then the view breaks for some reason. So it's no longer, it's just putting the marks. I don't even know what it's doing here. It's doing some weird kind of shapy things. And then if I change it to a line and then put path on path, I get something like that, which is not what I want. And I think it's because I'm using this collect object, but I don't know if there's a different way I could do it. Maybe with measure names or something like that. Okay, let's try something else here. Yeah, but that's kind of what I was looking at. Maybe we could try let me just Google it. Let's remove curved lines on Tableau map. Curved lines on a map, curved paths, how to display curved lines. I don't want to do that. I don't want curved lines. Okay. Okay, let's see what this one is here. Okay, yeah, so this is what I don't want something like this. Because that looks pretty ugly. Okay. So that's why I was thinking if I make it a scatter plot, how can I shape the data so that it draws a line? Okay, so let's try again. So if I put I want to put the latitude change on the rows and the longitude change on the columns. And now I want to connect the US to each of those dots. So if I do my path onto detail, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this. So this should be able to go on to path. But again, I get that weird list. I don't even know where it's starting here. Yeah, I don't even understand where these lines are connecting. But that's kind of what, would you put your calculated? Can I put my calculate? So you can't put a line on path. That's only a spatial object, Jen. I'm just trying to think how the hell I've done this before. So if I have two things on the same, okay, I'm gonna look something up here. Let's call this London bus. Okay, London bus routes. Okay, I'm going to try this workbook because I know I've done this before. So this will take me from this workbook will show me how I connect one bus stop to the next. And I think, okay, great, cancel, shit. So that's not going to work. Oh now I don't know what it asked for. It was some extract. Let's try this one, see what happens. Okay, so we have a sequence here. Come on. London bus routes extract. Cloud storage. Data London bus routes.td. Okay, so let's. Okay, and then this one, properties. London bus routes.shape. Okay. Edit data source. Okay, let's see if we get anywhere now. Great. Oh, I hit save. That's why. Okay, so each of these is a line. Okay, so I don't want to do that. Points. Okay, so this is messed up then. So points. Okay, so now this has all of the individual stops. So this is putting a sequence on there. Okay, so let's look what this data set looks like then. So we have, so it goes from one point to the next. So it's basically taking like route 1 and it goes through like that. And it's just doing a line across the sequence because that's kind of what I want to do. Where the other data source, that's just a line string, but that goes the entire route, which we can't do. We might be able to do it in Tableau Prep, but Tableau Prep will take like half an hour to start. I'll start it up anyway, just in case. Okay, so we need to we need to basically have a pair. Okay, we should be able to do this then. So we have, oh, did I just close that workbook? I didn't, okay. So let me just pick one route. So route 81. So let me show the filter. Let's just pick route 81. I'm just going to pick one just as an example so we can see what the data looks like. Okay, so now if I do view data, we can see we've got the route sequence, we've got the stop name. So for us, this would be the country. And then the second line would have to be the US. Okay, so we need to create two records. Okay, did prep start? Oh, wow. No, prep is still starting, of course. So this first record would need to be our country, let's say Canada. The second record would need, or no, the first record would be the US, the second record would be Canada. Okay. So how can we do that? Because I need to have, let's see. Okay, I'm going to go back to my data source then. Where is it here? Okay, so we have something like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a row. Let's call this our sequence. And we'll do one. We'll just name all of these 1. Okay. And then we want to have a second row for each of these. So 0, 1, 0, 1. No, that's not going to work either. Okay, did prep? Okay, so prep started. Let's give this a shot. Sorry, this is really not going well. I apologize. So let's do a text file. We want to go to Makeover Monday data 2024, and we want to bring in this file. Okay. All right, and data starts at row 2. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Oh, come on. Okay, I want to include that field. I'm going to hide that field. Okay, so that's those 2. I don't really need the rank, but I'll leave it there anyway. And what I want to do is I want to have a second row for each of these. That is, okay, so let's add in. Okay, so if I bring in the US, where does that go? No, wrong file. This is way too much work. US lab too much. Okay, so let me just copy these 2. Come on. All right, let's go back over to my file. And I'm going to just hide this for now because it's annoying me. Okay, so these I want to do like that. All right, I'm just going to try this and see what happens. So that will give us, why did I do that? That doesn't help me at all. Oh, crap. Okay. Anybody else think I'm wasting a lot of time? It sure feels like I'm wasting a lot of time. Something needs to show that each path on your firearms map is still its own unique route. Yeah, that's correct. That's what I'm trying to do. LinkedIn guy, girl. I don't know which one. And I know how I need to do it now. I need to set it up like this data is, where I have. Let me go here. I've got a sequence of the route, so it's a route number, and then it goes 1, 2, 3. So I want to have for each country, I want to have a 0 and a 1 essentially. So okay. So let's see, what can I do here? I wonder if I can just paste data into prep. I've never tried that. Okay, can I just paste, edit, paste? Let's see what happens. Nothing. Okay, good thing there's a paste functionality. All right, so I am going to go over to Excel. I'm going to create a new file, and I'll just paste it in here. And let me just save this as USA lat on. Okay. So that should do the trick. So now if I add this as a data source, I think I must have saved it as an Excel file. Okay, so we're going to bring that in as a second data source. And I'm going to add a column so we can remove that. Come on. Okay, so let me just do it this way. Let's do a, I want to do I guess a clean step. And I'm going to just add a new field. Let's go back over here and let's call this our, God, what a pain in the ass. I'm just going to call this one sequence. And then I'm going to add a new field. God, what a pain. Let's call this one sequence. And we want this to be 0. Okay. So now I want this row to appear with each other row. So how the hell am I going to do that? Okay, so let me look back over. Maybe I should go back here. Okay, and then I'm going to add a row. I'll call this my sequence, and this is going to be 1. Okay, so now I've got each of these has the value of 1, and the USA file each has the value of 0. So now I need to join each of these together. Okay, so that should be, okay, so let's see how we can join these together. Okay, so let's create a calculated field. Let's just call it, let's call it joiner. All right, so it should join them on, no, I don't want to join them on sequence. I'm going to join them on join. Okay, so what does my data look like now? Join results, sequence 1, sequence, oh, but I don't want them, I want them stacked on top of each other. Okay. Okay, no problems. Let me delete that. And then here, my row ID goes down to 247. Okay, so I don't need these join fields. Well, I'll leave it there anyway. It doesn't matter. Okay. So now I need to generate rows basically. So can I do that? Let's see. New row. Oh, how many did I say I had? I have, my row ID is 247. Okay, so I want to go here and I want to add new rows. Okay, values from one field. Oh. The sequence. One, 247. And we'll call this our row ID. Okay, let's see what happens here. Excellent. No rows were detected for field sequence. Okay, excellent. Okay, how do I do this tool here? Yeah, that's not what I want to do. Okay, I'm going to try something else here. Let's. Okay, let's go. What the fuck? What is it not like here? Select a field or range of fields, add new rows. Only numeric or, only numeric, whole, or date fields are allowed. Okay, so what is my date type here? Yeah, so I've got numbered fields. Let me just rename this as, maybe it doesn't like that I've, actually I'll just call this end, and I'll call this one start. And to see, why doesn't it let me? Okay, I'm going to cheat again. All right. This is definitely not the best way to do this. Okay, so let me save. And now if I go back here, I can delete that. And then this one, I'm going to remove and remove. Okay, I'm going to start again. So we've got this one is fine. And let's call this our row ID. Okay, and then here, I want to refresh that. Okay, so we don't need that. We've got row ID, USA lat, USA lon. Okay, and then here, let's add another file. God, this is such a pain. Do I need to even do this in prep? I don't think I do now. I'm going to go back to Tableau. Okay, so let me edit my data source. Okay, and I want to but I don't want to do that. Okay, I think I do still need to use prep. I don't know. I don't know why I'm bothering with this. Do I just stick with that and be done with it? I mean, it doesn't look, I don't like the look of it. What would you do if you were me? Would you keep pursuing this, or is this a gigantic waste of time? In my original file, add in the US row as many times as you have countries, put 0 in the first column, and then use the rank column to duplicate all of the same numbers as countries. Okay, so let me go back to what you're saying here, Jen. So if I go back to, we don't need the one, back here, and then what I could do is, I think what you're saying is do this, put it there again, call all of these 0. Okay, so I think let's see what you were saying here. You were saying add in the US row as many times as you have countries, put 0 in the first column, then use the rank column to duplicate all the same numbers as countries. Rank equals route. So this would be my sequence. Oh, I see. So I could just make this, let me get rid of this one. Oops. So I could do something like that. I think that's what you're saying, Jen. Even US data in all of the new rows. Use US data in all the new rows. Right. Okay, so I think I've got that now. Okay, so let me save that. I'm going to go back over to Tableau. I'm just going to start with a new data source here because I'm getting myself confused more. And I want to go to, okay, let's pull this file in. So we should see the sequence. Why is it not showing me? Oh, of course, my mouse just died. Come on. There we go. Okay, so let's just look at 1,000 rows. Okay, so we should have a sequence of 1 and 0. Okay, so that's our sequence. And then we've got the rank for both fields. So the rank would be like my route number. And then what I'll do is I'm going to, maybe I'll I'll add a data source filter. So the cumulative volume has to be at least, let's say, 1,000. Because then hopefully I don't get any duplicated ranks. That would stink if there were any exact numbers that were the same. Okay, let's go here. 88. Okay, I think, yeah, we'll probably be okay with that. So, right. So now that I have that, I should be able to add my other file, which is my country codes file. Oops. And then let's see, I started with info. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Okay, we're going to do it as a left join, and then this is going to be country. It's going to match to name. Okay, that's good. And that's going to be a left join. And then we'll do the geo. That's going to give us the the alpha 2. That's going to go to the country 1. Okay. So that should work now. Okay, so let me just clean this up a bit. So hide, I can hide. Just want to do a bit of cleanup here before we move on. Okay. Okay, so that looks, I think that looks okay. All right, so now if I go to a new sheet, I should be able to, okay, let me see again how I did this here. So I have my, yeah, so I want to have my, I don't want to do it as a map though, so I can just, yeah, so let's make these here. And I want to have latitude, longitude, set my map to none. Okay, so now we just get a scatter plot. And then I should be able to make this a line, put sequence on the, so sequence should be here, right through there. So sequence on the path. And then I need to build my, do I put country on detail? Okay, that's not it. Okay, dang it. Okay, so I've got my, it doesn't matter. So my route. So my route is my rank. Okay, so my rank is on detail. Ah, there we go. And then I'm going to put the country on the tooltip, right? So that should then give me the country. Okay, there we go. So, all right. But now what I should be able to do is do an offset to the US latitude and longitude. So let's, okay, so I'm going to just copy those. Okay. All right, so now I want both of these to be there. And now I should be able to move the US to the middle. So let's create a new calculated field. And I want to say my, this is going to be my lat. I'll just call it my adjusted lat. So this will be the latitude minus the USA latitude. And then adjusted longitude would be longitude minus USA longitude. Okay, so, oh God, let's put both of those here, make them continuous. So now if I do adjusted lat onto the rows, adjusted lon onto the columns, change this to a line, put my rank on detail and my sequence on path. And it did the same thing. Oh, yeah, it just changed it. Oh, God. But this can't be right because some of these, oh. Because some of them need to go to the left. We shouldn't only have 2 of them that go, because there's other countries. Let's see, so let's put country onto tooltip. Canada, United. If I go back to, oh, what happened here? Oh boy. think I broke something. There we go. What did I call it? So if I just do so the US has a positive latitude. Yeah, so that should be the up and down should be fine, right? So those are okay that way. So my latitude adjusted is fine. It's my longitude that looks a bit weird because I need to calculate my longitude differently. So I'm at a negative longitude. So if I do, that's the UK. If I do that minus that, because I want this one to go to the left. So that should be a positive number. Yeah, so that's correct. So that one should be a positive number. And then longitude would be so if my longitude is positive, so that's adding it together. So that's not what I want. So if my longitude is positive, just trying to think how I'm struggling to think through this for some reason. This is really really annoying me. So if my okay, so I'm just going to mark label always show. Okay, so let me just put the latitude and longitude onto the label. Okay, so if I compare the latitudes, I think the math for the latitudes is fine. So if I go down here, I don't know what country that is. Let's put country onto detail. So this is the Falkland Islands. Okay, so Argentina, New Zealand, where's the Falkland Islands? Oh, you know what? They probably had 0. Okay, let's look at New Zealand. Where's New Zealand? Okay, so New Zealand has a minus 40. So if I do the latitude minus the US latitude, so that would go, so it should be 30, let's see, it should be 87 down or 88 down from that one. Okay, so New Zealand is minus 78. Okay, so I think that's right, minus 78. I'm going to just minus 78, minus 78 is correct. But for the longitude, I want it to go to the left. So it should be, how far does it need to go to the left? So I need to do minus 95. Somebody help me with the math here. Because we'll have, all right, so it goes 180. So minus 95. So if I do longitude, what if I did longitude minus? So this one should go the other, oops. Okay, so if I'm going to Ireland, my latitude value is correct. So 53 minus 37, so that would go up 16. Okay, so let's find Ireland. Ireland. Oh, Ireland's not even listed. Okay. I want one that goes north. Okay, let's just say Norway. Okay. So Norway, so that's giving me adjusted latitude of 23. So Norway It says 23, so that's correct. But my longitude should be, so it should be 8.5. So it should be going, doesn't longitude goes to what, 10 to 180? Is that right? No, one. So do you need to treat positive? Yeah, I do need to treat positive and negative differently. I just don't remember how to do that, Jen. Because it doesn't, longitude goes like 180 degrees, right? I don't know why I don't know this. Longitude. Okay, let's see. Okay, so then longitude goes 0 to 180. Okay. So if my longitude is a negative number, I think I need to treat the longitude. Okay, let's try this. I think I need to make this an absolute. No, that's not going to work. So it should be 180. Okay, so let's say if the longitude is less than 0. Okay, so that would give me all of the negatives. Then I want to do, I want that to go backwards 50 degrees. So it's going to be the absolute of this. No, it should go, I want it to go to the left. So New Zealand would be 174. No, wait, let's do French Polynesia. So that's, or yeah, it's 149. So that needs to go, what, 149 minus 95. Okay, so this should be the absolute of that minus the absolute of that. Else, okay, so if it's a positive number, so let's say 18.6, so it's going to be 18.6. Yeah, so that would be right. So now I just want to do longitude minus the USA longitude. Okay, I think that's going to do it. All right, so let me try now. That did a whole lot of nothing. Helps if I update the right field. So if longitude is less than 0, then I want to do the absolute of latitude minus the absolute of USA latitude. No, longitude, not latitude. Else. No, this should be latitude. No, latitude was fine. Yeah, latitude was fine. Yeah, there were no problems with latitude. It was just the longitude. Else longitude minus USA longitude. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, there we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. but the UK goes backwards, which is a bit strange. Okay, so if I look on a map now, Mexico is going the wrong direction. So this should be 23. Let's see. Okay, so adjusted latitude is minus 13.5. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, but my adjusted longitude is 6.8, so that's wrong. Okay, my longitude should be so I want this to go to the left, so it needs to be a negative number. So maybe it's USA minus. Let's try that. Nope. Okay. I am being a real idiot here. I don't know why this isn't working. All right. Well, if in doubt, easiest thing to do is to look at the country names and do a cumulative volume and sort them. And then let's exclude the USA. That should be 0 anyway. That's weird. Oh, that's because there's the sequence field in there. Yeah. So we need to exclude 0. Okay, there we go. So if in doubt, just do a bar chart. But negate your calc. Okay, so should the longitude that needs to be modified be greater than like plus 40 degrees? Do you need to? So the latitude looks fine. Okay, so it's the longitude that's weird. So the longitude should go from, so again, let's just look at the US compared to Canada, for example. So here, let me just move this over. Wrong one. Canada is going to the right. So it's giving me 10.6, which is wrong. So it should be what? It should be 1. So Canada should be what? Minus 11. Yeah, minus 10.6. It should be minus 10.6. Okay, so. And if my longitude is less than 0, then if it's less than 0, then I want to take the longitude and then minus the absolute. Okay, so let's do that. Oh, that's the wrong field again. God damn it. Okay, so Canada's in the right place now. Mexico's in the right place. But those are the only two that are in the right place. I'm going to move the US to the middle. Maybe that'll help. Okay, now if this is a positive, if it's greater than 180, I think the problem is I'm trying to put the US in the middle, but I'm doing an adjustment. Okay, I was saying that was the range. Since you wanted the US in the middle, we want to correct latitudes for countries in East Asia. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense, David. But how do we determine where the cutoff is? So the cutoff would be minus would be 90 degrees from, let's see. So I'm just trying to think where the latitude cut out the longitude. So if I want the US in the middle at 0, then I need 180 minus 95.7. So 84.3. I want everything that is 84.3 or greater. Okay. So I want, if anything is greater than 84.3, then I want to take the longitude minus that. Okay, so let me just fix that for now. Greater than 84.3. Okay. We could use the longitude value for Russia as a reference since we want that to be on the left in our adapted map. Okay. Yeah. So if we use Russia for reference, okay, so let's say 105. Actually, let's use let's use where's the original visualization? That is this one here, right? So what is the farthest one? So they've got, let's say it's India is the farthest out to the right. So I want to mark label OSHA. Okay, so for India, so I'm going to say anything that's greater than 79, then I want this value to go to the left. So that should be a negative number, but it should be 70. It should be negative 79 minus 95. Okay, so let's try that. I think that's right. So we want to do the negative of that minus the absolute of that. Okay. And I said 79, I think I said. So I'll set it to 78.9 just to be sure. Okay. So New Zealand. Let's see. Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, Thailand, India. Okay. And then this would be Japan, Russia. Okay. I think I have it now. Does that look right? Anybody want to guess? I think it's right. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to be able to highlight when I choose a country. So for example, if I pick Russia, I wanted to highlight that whole line for Russia. But because I have to make this, if I make it a dimension, then it splits up the view. Okay, so I can't make that a dimension. I could, let's create would be a way I could do this. Let's call this our path. So this would be the and then this should be the country. I don't think this is going to do anything. Yes, that splits the view up again. So that goes US to US, which is the one I want. So if I click on Russia, it clicks on the whole Russia line. All right. Okay, so now the problem I'm having now is that I want to be able to highlight the line, but the US is always in the front. So for example, if I click the dot on the end here, it highlights that whole line. Okay, so let's say, okay, now let's put cumulative volume on size. So now we get something like that other graph that we looked at. Okay, so let's see. So what are the values? Let me go back to that bar chart. So what have I filtered it down to? Anything over 10,000. Okay, so these are all the places that the US sent at least 10,000 weapons. Okay, and then let's call this top 10. Something like that. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't know. It's not great. If I look back at the original, it looks like they might have every country in there. It's kind of hard to tell. So if I get rid of that, okay. So I have pretty much the same view as them. And then they've highlighted what? I can't even tell what they've highlighted. It's 43, 48, 70, 80, 39, 37. So they've highlighted everything over 35,000. Okay, so let's change the it's greater than. Let's try that. Okay, so now that looks more like theirs. Something like that. Okay. Wow, this was a so Usman, I don't know if you just joined in or not, but this is trying to basically recreate the original visualization, but didn't do it very well. Took a very long time to do it. So yeah. And then it'd be nice to maybe put this circle on the inside. Okay, so let's highlight values. So let's say if highlight, then we want to put the cumulative volume. So let's put that the default properties, number format. We're going to make this thousands. Put that on label. And then we want to have the country on the label instead. No, don't want to do that. Duplicate, edit, highlight, country labels, then country. label. Okay. But this needs to be context, or sorry, an attribute. All right. So we could also allow overlap. And why is the United States there? Okay. Well, that didn't work. Oh, that's because of the lines. Okay, so we don't want to have, what we don't want is the US showing any values. So I need to do that through here, I think. Edit, if highlight, and country does not equal. Okay. Okay, there we go. So that's better. Label. I don't know why it's putting the little dots on the end. Okay. So then let's do a bit of formatting here. And of course, Tableau put the labels backwards. So in the original, we've got okay, let's see. So this is probably about 14. Now let's make this one 12, and let's make this one 14. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, undo. Okay. The only other thing I might want to do is to put the US exports on here. So I might be able to do that if I let's say, let's call this one just 0. And if I do that as a dual axis, and we want to do that as a dimension. And then on this one, we don't want any of this stuff. We just want it to be a circle. Oh, dang it. It's going to do the same thing. I want to just get the US in the middle. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so let's say if okay, so now I get one dot. I'm going to put the cumulative volume on the label. And then that is what, 3.7 million. Okay, so let's format that. Let's make that maybe 20 numbers, millions. Okay, label, let's set it to the center. And now let's make this a dual axis. Okay, interesting. There we go. Synchronize. And then this one, I want to make this a circle. I want it to be white. I want this to be in the front. Okay, so that's good. And let's make that nice and big. Okay, there we go, something like that. 3.7 million US exports. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, something like that. Make the circle a bit bigger. Okay, so maybe I'll put a border on this border, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let me pick my red. I think it's this one. I don't know why it's washed out. I don't know why the border is washed out. Oh well, not gonna worry about it. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to call it quits. Well, I know I have to call it quits there. And then let's hide this header. And I think I got pretty close. David, thank you very much for your feedback along the way as well. I'll continue to kind of refine the look of this. I might use the Alpha 2 on the label instead of the instead of the, where did I put it here, in the highlight country labels. So I could, it's still going to be messy. So yeah, I don't know. If I could just turn off the overlap. So if I untick the overlap, but the problem now is I only get some of them highlighted, which doesn't do me a lot of good. So I'll keep playing around with it, see what happens. Sorry this took so long. Hopefully you learned something along the way. I appreciate all of the feedback as always. And everybody have a wonderful week. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.